Veins of scorned iron, flesh of smoldering flame, souls of boundless essence, all laden atop anvils of power's claim. Be the smith divine or mortal, a hammer yet falls in merciless irony, forging fate and refining its silvered threads beneath a lightless horizon. So wail, O desperate vanguard, pry thine bindings, carve from cold stone an anvil all your own, and shape a blade to contest your beaten edge, carving it through unto thine wielder's hidden hand. The abandoned vanguard outpost of Malor has been proven not quite so. Its care and shelter taken up by shattered dregs seeking an asylum of freedom in the shadowed realm. Indentured laborers, insectoid slaves, and wanderers lost within lightless caverns, all granted a purpose of their own pursuit, joined beside the ever-present strife of survival. Ignorant to the truth of your presence upon this long-avoided trail of ash, your passing mercy has earned a temporary ease within the diverse safehold, yet not without a slew of drawn eyes, questioning your arrival with worried glances. We pick up where we left off, but moments after entering Malor Outpost. The gates closed behind you, you walked into a diverse yet small marketplace. Insectoids, drow servants broken free of their bonds, just like the workers beside them. There isn't much wealth here, but there is community, and it is thriving the best it can. Trinkets, baubles, and scavenged goods. It isn't much, but it's a safe hold of freedom. Koth just laid eyes upon an interesting individual, one who stands out in the diversity of all the others. Whereas Yael just came to greet an old friend, a massive Herculon of centuries old, filling the room hidden behind a shelf in the old library of Malor. Antonid, you were following your fellow vanguard of wrath, whereas Hyliak, I believe you're still within this makeshift marketplace. The rest of Mercy's vanguard has spread out. Nora going to help the injured and sick below. Thaladoon wandering, picking up trinkets and offering what pennies he has at the bottom of his pouch. Through all of the vanguard, there is this shock. The initial affront to this place, if it was there at all, has been swept away by the people inhabiting it. Even Calidor, who moves into the areas below to find some level of rest and to respect his allies chiseled across the walls of this ancient place. If there's any interactions you'd like to invoke, fellow members of the Praetor Vanguard you'd like to discuss with, spy on, or intervene upon, or any place within the many stories of Malor or the bowels far below to explore, you can.
Yael is going to go find Koth.
All right. So you're currently in the room with Sehedi. Do you bid him farewell? Do you tell him you shall return?
tell him...
Sahir is still next to you, the leader of these people.
Okay, I forgot that he was there. So I kind of look between them and I say, I know that we have a lot to talk about, but there's an ally that I need to go get. And I'm gonna leave the room unless there's anything that they would like to say back.
All Unsahedi says in this insectoid gurgle, this miraculous imitation of deep lore speech. If you trust them to be true, do not walk them unknowingly into a death sentence. Sahir is quiet with worried eyes, looking over the two Krien and other lore drow within the room. As they look back and forth, questioning without words this trust you have in another. You take your part and head back down to the main lobby, Sahir right behind you. So, as you make your way down there, you pursue Koth. If you like, you can try to find him amongst the crowd with an investigation check. Whereas what will Koth be doing at this moment in time?
I would be staring down the human I see by the marketplace. Hand on my scimitar, just taken back and watching them.
Okay, do you approach them at all or just wait?
Nope, I am just watching them right now, debating.
Right. So, I would say easily enough with some few minutes of scanning the crowd, foregoing that investigation check, you would find Koth kind of frozen in place, peering out the visor of his helm.
I rolled a 9 on investigation.
Okay. I would say you still find Koth, but the external details that may be troubling him, you don't notice.
So I'll walk up to him and kind of look around, just make sure that we're not being closely watched, and just ask.
Well, there is ever-present eyes looking at you, some multifaceted, shimmering in the light at 100 different angles of the insectoids. The few drow that are moving about tilt their heads, but as soon as they catch your glance, they look away. There is this general observance of the representatives of the Sectorum that loomed over them for so long.
So knowing that there are possible ears listening, she just says, I was wondering if we could finish our chess game.
Hearing Yael talk, I'll quickly snap out of it to look at her. Give her a nod, yeah. Yes, we can do that. I have something I need to quickly attend to. And then I'll go up to the Alistus Crusader.
Okay. You approach this individual who's currently dawdling over these rough wooden sculptures, probably no longer than a foot in the height, as whatever they represent is vague in the loose scrapings of the Korean shopkeep behind them, this insectoid wood carver, who is currently busy chipping away, leaving a pile of sawdust ever growing beneath their many arms.
And I will say to them in common, I flex a bit. I know you. Alistus.
They immediately freeze. Their back that had a slight hunch straightens. Their shoulders pull back, and breath fills their chest. As the head slowly turns over, this dark-haired man, just about over his ear and on the rear end, tickling the bottom of his neck, with a thick, overgrown beard that has likely been unkept for some number of weeks, if not months. A face smudged and dirty, this pale yet dimly warm skin, like the outside of a peach, turns to look at you with fear in their eyes. And as they do, you see strewn across the white garb what semblance of the markings of Alistus are smeared over with blood. The crimson grasp of fingertips at the top, where it seems like a cut was made upon his hand or another and smeared over the symbol of the white garb.
Upon seeing the symbol smeared, Gothis will visibly relax a bit. I'm going to take off my helmet to hand to them as I say, you need to put this on. Not safe.
There is some relief as the helmet leaves your head, and there is pale flesh, but of this slight purplish ashen hue. There is relief in his eyes knowing that you are not of the legions of Mandar, though it is replaced with a look of confusion soon after. You know the Lord's tongue. How? You're the first to speak with me. Why? He takes the helmet in his hand and he looks inside it, looks over.
I am visibly trying my best to, I'm looking at them intently, not with anger or anything, but just doing my best to piece together their words. Much needs to be said, but you must put this on. I am no friend of Alistus, but I know you and where you are from. I may be the only one. And I will also hand them my cloak of many fashions.
Okay. So you unstrap it from the pauldrons at your shoulders. He takes the helm, gathering to some degree that you mean to hide yourself. And he kind of slips it on, though tighter. The legions of Mandar are slightly larger than the Elvish Lore. And it is a tight fit, and the beard still sticks out beneath, but there is some semblance of a doubt. And as he puts on the cloak of many fashions, there is some question and wonder as it covers the garb. He doesn't seem to know how to activate it or to utilize it fully, but it does cover up the robes well enough. And its default state, it just looks like
okay. Is it possible before giving it to them, I could have changed the fashion of it into a more larger cloak for them to cover the Alistus robes?
The threads expand, almost stitching on new lengths, creating new silk as it expands onwards, creating a large hood. This gray with purplish striping that fades at the end, indicative of Sectorum fashions within the lower dregs. He kind of covers it and drapes the large hood over the helm, encompassing the majority of the white robes beneath, not but that peeking just above his blackened boots peers out. His visage is hidden for the moment.
I cannot talk now. I'm needed else place.
Yael,
I-
you would see, though the crowd obscures it, you would see Koth remove his helmet, the familiar face of Karthzal beneath, and the unstrapping of robes. You catch glimpses of white, and there is some question within you. But with such a low investigation check, it's hard to parse out the entirety of the interaction. And what glimpses you do get are not enough to lead to an outright conclusion of this individual and their lineage, per se. He nods. I'll go down into the bunks below. You'll find me in the dark corner of the western zoning.
I'll be will do. Others look like me. Don't talk to.
I doubt they'd understand me if I did. I shall make myself sparse. Before you go, as you begin to turn and walk away, what shall I call you?
Goth. Goth. No friend of Alistus.
They call me Abraham. And I have many questions. And neither am I a friend of the unborn god.
There is a relaxed sigh that comes from Goth. Abraham. And I give them a nod before returning to Yayo. And how crowded is the market right now?
The market is crowded. There's roughly 30 different vendors with almost twice as many occupants moving about, going down to the lower levels, predominantly with some few that are armed with makeshift bows and chipped and rusted swords, likely scavenged, that go upwards, likely for patrols or to stand guard upon the parapets above. But this is likely the busiest area.
Okay, heard. Alright, I'll return to Yayo.
Okay.
Yael just kind of raises an eyebrow at him but doesn't say anything as she leads him back to the library.
You travel up the winding staircases, moving one chamber after the next. Some, their doors crashed in. There is some crumbled stone and damage over time that is within this place, but you find yourself to a rather sizable library with various different shelves in place there, and one that is slid outwards and over the others beside it.
So before we enter the room, Yael is going to turn to Koth and look at him for a beat and then say, the people in this room and the things you're about to learn are things that I will defend with my life. And if you betray these, I will end yours. I have put down people that I cared about even more than Kareth Sol.
I insight check Yael. The
You
last
can
part
roll a
of putting down people she's cared about more than Kareth Sol, just to see if I can tell if there's dedication or if that is a lie.
roll an insight, and Yael, you can either roll deception or say deception if you're lying, or nothing at all if you're telling the truth.
I got a total of an 18.
18.
She's telling the truth.
Oh fuck. I cough, stands up a bit taller. I understand. You have my word that I have no intention of betraying this trust.
Count
But what
insight
am I
check.
getting myself? Oh, I need. Okay.
That is a 19.
And just to see if I plan on betraying you?
To see, yes, if there's any indication that he is not being truthful about his intentions.
Right now, you can tell that Goff is overwhelmed at Ted. I would say that there is a lot of emotions on his face, but there is certainty in his voice. And at least right now, at least some dedication to those words.
Okay.
You move past and enter the chambers beyond, this small, dark passage of a hallway into a widening room. As ramshackle as it is, you can make out a stone slab that has been remodeled and sculpted into a war table. You see carved atop it on a very familiar map, though with its imperfections like any. Large circles and carvings of fortifications, the various sanctums, those fallen and those intact. Duskhelm catches your eye first and foremost. Ebonheart, Gloomhaven. There's a cracked obsidian, almost pillar, rough as if it was broken off the core mineral and placed where you know the nexus to be. There's various symbols of wood and otherwise, majority of which you don't understand the meaning of, as they're no traditional written language. All placed about with tacks of string and thread between them. On the walls, there's torn banners, some scraps of maps that were likely pulled from some of the books in the library this place is hidden within. And filling it, first and foremost, you see a giant Herculon. One that has likely lived many centuries. Their form is almost twice that of the one that greeted you, the entrance to Maelor. Hunched over within this place, a ceiling roughly 14 feet tall greets the hunch of its back. As its eyes twist and rotate, taking you in, just like the other insectoids in the room. To Krien, no real clothing or adornments besides this regal purple silk Though torn, you can tell it is a signifier of station, tied around their chitinous necks and over their many shoulders. A lone Lore sits within the corner of the room, a shadow cast by the dimly lit torches of flame. There's no magic here. Just hot embers and smoke. As Sahir, who has followed you quietly, in constant examination, thumbs at the cast medallion around his neck, the broken pickaxe, and he moves it over the embossing of the fracture in its shaft, looks you up and down. Much has happened in so little time. We have revealed such great secrets. Please, spare us any indignation, and prove your honor true. And trust, as his eyes shift from Koth to Yael, worthwhile. This gurgle, this bellowing gurgle behind Yael erupts. So this is the one.
She looks at him and just nods and says, he knew my former commander, and he can be trusted.
There is a slight nod. You hear the creaking of the dense chitin upon this figure. This, as if they're coated in living armor. So, is this one of those moments where you would like some of the other players to enter the lounge?
What?
The other players within the party, would you like them to vacate this voice channel for secretive means?
Oh. You want us to go to the lounge?
I'm trying to decide. I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing bad's gonna happen. Nothing suspicious. Are they fucking gone? They got no idea. Hi, Sam.
Yes.
Can you leave?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I was kind of zoned out.
No, you're you're good.
Let's see. Sorry, I'm using.
Maybe that's for the better.
And navigate. Got to scroll down to Sagas.
Yeah, no, take your time. No pressure whatsoever. They're just waiting for you.
Go down. Okay, go to.
So it begins.
Okay. So I'm trying to think of how I want to do this. Yael looks around the room. At the war table, and just kind of looks between them and says, "You've been hard at work, I see."
One figure in the corner, this lone Lore that you do not know the name of, at least yet, speaks up. The work never truly ends. There's justice to dole out and people to free. This, I hope, is a respectable statement to your found friend.
Yael nods and says, "It's been a long journey that we've been on. God, it's been what, weeks?"
Since you left Duskhelm, I think it would be just over 2 weeks, yes.
Since we left the Nexus. How long
Since
has
you
it
left the
been?
Nexus, well, we do have the map pulled up. So, just a quick estimate, it'd be...
I think it's been like maybe a month and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Um,
With the time spent in Umbara and Duskhelm, yeah, month and a half.
Yael will just kind of step back and fall next to Koth and just say, kind of introduce him to Umseti, formally. This is Koth. He's one of the newer Vanguard. Or one of our newly formed... How do I want to say this? A member of the newly formed Vanguard. That's what I wanted to say. Who has shown similar interests to the Divergence.
Unsahedi moves up to you. This hulking head between massive boulders of plated shoulders. Almost half the size of your entire body. Hunches down one of the 4 arms, the more imposing upper set just on the floor like a gorilla before you. As it looks you up and down, takes you in. There's no iris to focus on. Just these glimming eyes of black reflecting the amber fire of the torches around you. I've grown confident in reading the captors. I can spot one of good from another of evil. But you are unknown. He stares into you. You hear Sahir, who has now made his way into the room and is leaning against the war table. You said Vanguard. The Vanguard haven't been around for millennia. Is the disbandment overturned?
Not exactly. I myself was a member of the original Vanguard. We've been sent on a mission that the matron is aware of. I'd rather not share the details with you, more so to keep you safe than out of any sort of distrust.
The voice picks up from the corner. We've received no correspondence from the matron's couriers. How can this be certain? Some mysterious goal upon the Ashen Path? Wait. Why I come to Malor? If the Vanguard are made anew or not fully so, wouldn't the reclamation of their outposts come first?
It already has.
Surely Malor.
I point over to the map and try to point to the direction of Umbara.
It's easy to find. There is this rough gemstone placed over it. This almost imperfect amethyst with a crack of stone going through it.
Umbara has been cleansed, and I know there are others in positions of power that, if their word is to be trusted, intend to retake it. I don't believe they have any intentions with Maelor, and if they do, I will do everything in my power to ensure they don't come here to destroy what you've created.
Dael kind of chimes in and says, "We really weren't even intending to stop at Maelor."
One in the corner, younger than Sahir, but adorning his right eye, and across half of his face is a large scar that has likely penetrated the jelly and is now hollow within its socket as it goes over and crosses his cheek down across his jaw. As he comes into the light, the full grim visage is born to you. He's wearing an open-chested cloak where you see various scars of lashes left upon it. You wear the garb of a Praetorian, the Sindanya of the oppressors. We've received no word from the matron. How can we trust you on your word? Umbara's to be taken, and I'm learned enough to know that the Vanguard's very purpose was reclamation.
The only word that you need to trust is my name, Shurafei.
Unsahedi looks over to him. Juliander. This is like Juliander. Juliander. She is an old friend, one with many names. All she has earned. I trust her with my life. And so should you. That is, if you wish to keep it in such trying times.
Yael drops her hand to the sickle at her side and just mad dogs Dolore.
It would be just to cement it, Yolandir.
Yes.
Okay. Sahir picks up. If you're honest, and your goal isn't Maelor, why the Ashen Trail? You keep your destination shadowed. The only place beyond here would be the first sanctum. There. Let me roll. I may not be as learned as our friend, but I have found wisdom in strife, and I know that the Sectorum has kept itself isolated for good reason, and they would only send the most revered of their forces for one far grander. You can't possibly be looking for the Ashen Gate.
I look at Yael.
Yael is thinking very hard.
The Kreen begin to utter amongst themselves, showing a distinct lack of understanding in the speech of Deep Lore, as Unsahedi otherwise begins to gurgle back. Orash. As As the two Krien begin to utter back and forth, one stands up and begins communing with Unsehedi. Unsehedi speaks back. Krul wishes to understand the meaning of such a sacrifice of going to the dead lands of Ash. I myself find curiosity. The black gate above is a place of death to all.
Yael looks at him and just said, God, how do I want to phrase this? Your suspicions that I can already tell you have are right. But the knowledge of our mission could get all of you killed, and not just by the Sectorum.
The Here speaks. What other enemies besides the Sectorum do we have? The only other threat are the aberrant horrors lurking within the meadows. If there is any truth beyond the Ashen Gate, it may be more deception than such. What could the Council see in the Ashen lands above? Consume all. To go beyond the gate is death. Many harbored here believe even passing its pillars strike them down.
I'd like to do an insight check on Yuliander before saying anything.
You roll an insight check.
You know what? Hold on. One moment. I need to double check something. Oh, son of a fuck. Never mind. Okay. So that is a 12.
You don't gain much intent, but with a 12, you do make out that the squinting of his brow, the tensing of his jaw is not his natural state. There is a level of chagrin and perhaps a veiled hatred towards any veiled in the sigil of the Sectorum, let alone one of such high rank.
That little twink pisses me off. Anyways,
Get the Herculon to kill him. It's that simple.
And as you look him over, his eyes peer in the ears. Well, perhaps it is left to me to grant some sense out of this situation, lacking any. The Council, as cruel as they are not fools. They have to have their reasons. The layers above are said to be nothing but stone and shifting plates, so it cannot be the dead space in between, but the ash above. They found something. Something worthwhile in risking the lives of their most loyal. Unless, of course, you've done something to upset them and earn a death sentence. His eyes scan between both of you as if trying to read you.
I'm going to look at Yael before speaking up. You're right. Perhaps both statements. We could be sent there to our deaths. I don't know the ones of the counselors myself. And what lies beyond the Ashen Gate is death. But they didn't find something. It found us. It's already here.
Curiosity
In the Dusk
fills the
Meadows.
room with everyone who can understand you.
It's already here in the Dusk Meadows in Maylor. Before I continue, do you mind if I cast a spell? What I reveal must remain in this room for all of our safety.
Unsahedi braces himself, hopping back onto his rear trunk-like legs, the creaking of chitinous plate, the muscles beneath tensing as if ready to lunge. Juliander has a chipped blade at his hip, laced between rough leather. A hand rests on it. Sahir backs up, and he waves his arms upwards in a level of caution. As the leader of this place, so long as this spell is cast in good heart, no action shall be took. But you
I
must
promise.
understand, almost all of us have only ever seen it used as a punishment and execution. Juliander speaks. It won't come to that. And he says it while slowly standing up from his chair. Sahir is behind you. He looks into your eyes and nods. I am placing a great deal of trust on a stranger.
Your trust is not misplaced. But what I am going to reveal much, but in order to do so, I would like to ensure we are not being watched. Because when I say this information is dangerous for all of us, and I am going to very slowly cast See Invisibility. Not the ritual, but very slow hand movements to be clear that I'm not doing anything against them. And I'm not directly looking at
Your
anyone when I
irises
cast it.
flash over like a mirror, reflecting this slight bluish glow of mana as you scan the room. Roll perception check.
Okay. Can I add guidance to it?
Yes, you can.
Cool. That'll be a total of a 12.
12.
And
You
also,
scan the room. You even peer somewhat out into the library. Nothing you catch a glimpse of. Sahir moves to this inside switch, this large lever almost bolted to the wall with a... The shelf begins to... and inset once more to where it looks almost like a flat wall with nothing but a seam in the threshold of where the opening was.
also my feet, the oculum of the omnipotent, which goes off if someone, or it can go off if someone is scrying on me.
Yes.
Using a sensor is fine. So far, that's all good. No fuck shit.
Everything is good at the moment.
I don't trust you, DM, but I'm gonna continue. So after casting the spell and then slowly putting my hands back on my side, I look at Yael before saying, The council have reason to believe there's more to the surface than we know of. And the proof of that is here. In Malor, right now, there is someone from beyond the Ashen Gates. And their presence here, although they themselves don't mean harm, from what I can tell, I intend to get to the bottom of it. Them being here is dangerous. If the council finds out, if anyone with the knowledge that we have could connect the dots, this is of the utmost secrecy. And I don't wish for any harm to come of this place. And I intend to remove this individual from here. Their name is Abraham. Anything they traded, anything they brought, anything they intend to leave, not a trace of it can be found, not a hint of their existence, and you must deny ever seeing them. But that is why we're here. That is why we walk to the Ashen Gates. We intend to uncover the truth and the and the horror that lurks with it.
Them. Abraham. Abraham. I heard a man. Well, I heard that word, but I figured it was part of a greater name. A figure arrived with a caravan of Dwyer not long ago. Consistently beckoning and speaking, Abraham. Flesh paler than the Dwyer, with a beard of dark ash instead of white. We figured an outcast that wished to be free.
He is, but there is much more to him.
Yolander in the corner. The one with the white robes.
Yes.
Still stained with blood. Couldn't quite find anything to fit the... It feels unfitting to call him a dwarf, as he outstretches many of us. But the aberrance it takes flesh and warps it is... If this is truly an outsider to not just the Sectorum, but the Dusk Meadows as a whole, what is he then? He bears the beard of a Dwera. They look across each other. No one knows what that is.
Someone that lives beyond the Ashen Gate. Long thought, gone.
So life on the surface still persists. If that is so, are they the new enemy? Do they seek refuge down here in the meadows in which we found so long ago? How has it been so long? And yet they still breathe.
I hope to discover these answers. And I am going to look at the board table map, trying to avoid eye contact.
Yeah,
Unsahedi.
staring
Oh,
holes into the side of your head. That's it. That's all Yael's doing. She's just staring at him.
Unsahedi speaks up. If this creature is a threat, should we not remove it from Malor?
He is not a direct threat, and I intend to deal with it myself. I intend to remove any trace of him, to, if he traded here, if he stayed here, hide any trace of it, collect it, and not utter a single word to the council. But I will deal with it myself. Your people have enough to worry about.
The here speaks up once more. If there are those able to survive on the surface, surely not all is ash. This could be a refuge. Away from the Sectorum. Yolanda retorts. How many died in the descent? I doubt you know. But the records within this place, they hold history in high regard. Something that hasn't borne much life within the Sectorum, at least in the past centuries. If millions would die in the descent, how many would die in returning? To be greeted by what? Wastelands with just enough water and food to keep us as scavengers, just as we are now? No. No. We have our oasis. It's just ruled over by the cruel. What, so you believe? To cut down the Sectorum is an easier task than a long walk.
Whatever lies beyond the Ashen Gate, whatever is beyond that barrier, it isn't worth the danger to put your people through to attempt to get there. Any movement like that, any action based on what I've shared, would only put more of us in danger. Tighten the grip the counselors hold on the congruency. I understand the call for a better life that whatever beyond it could lead you to, but the danger of acting could threaten everything here.
So your goal is to scour the lands far above.
It is.
What if they bear fruit? What will that make of us? How could... If the Vanguard are rising from the death of the disbandment, Malor is not long.
Yael steps in and says, the matron is aware of our mission. I've been in contact with her. Sort of.
You say sort of?
No.
Eh,
That was a
sort of.
kind of been in contact. No. She should be receiving a message soon from me with additional information that we've collected, we would never leave you behind.
It has been a long fight.
It isn't over.
It'll never be over. So long as they breathe.
I nod to that. I know great changes are happening, and whether or not the Vanguard is fully reformed, we do not know. But currently it is hanging on by a thread. The support for it is barely enough to even do this. They, for the meantime at least, not until we come back. I don't believe they have any intentions of expanding to Maelor.
Do you believe? Do you? That you may come back from that place?
I fully intend to. I fully intend to do everything in my power to. And upon whatever revelations lie up there, we will act together with whatever we uncover. Shut the fuck up. I continue looking at the map. Contact.
And Sahedi gurgles out. This could be the opening. If there are grounds for expansion, the force will not be as concentrated as it has been for so long. If we do not ascend, it could be time to strike and crack the foundation. But you must return. And he doesn't say it to Koth. He says that to Yael.
Yael nods. Says they may notice we are missing soon. We will return for you.
That we shall. And
if it is Ash, when you get back, let's say, if you even need to go to the surface, why not go on about the lush fields of prosperity above? If there is no real opening, why not make one?
Yael looks at him and narrows her eyes, and she says a little thing called loyalty.
You're loyal to the very thing that'll gut you as soon as it figures out you were here.
Keep looking at the map.
Oh, Yael is holding back from this little shit. Oh, she's pissed.
I'm going to break the tension now. I understand you have your reasons to doubt me. But I share this in confidence, and what we have spoken about cannot leave this room, cannot be acted upon, not yet. And so you know that I stand with Maelor, that I wish to be a part of what happens here. I am going to put 2 platinum pieces and my inescapable lash on the war table or hand it to someone. I know it isn't much, but this is what I can offer now.
Yolandor goes to stand up, and Sahir walks and kind of moves in front of him, being closer. He takes it, grabbing the lash, by the loop and the whip and holding the platinum in his hands. Our wealth here is small. We trade more in simple carvings and the imitations of wealth than that which actually exists. This could buy us food. This could save lives.
I hope it does. Please see
He
to
looks
it
over
that
at
it does.
Yolandir. This could save lives. I will put it to good use. I
Good.
thank you.
And while I'm here, I will tend to the people that were poisoned by the crops. You have my word that I will do everything in my power to improve this place. Now and upon returning. It is...
Oh, Yolandir.
Yeah, he interrupts. Go on.
Still all sounds too good to be true, but it'd be wrong to look at the shine of metals such as platinum and turn a glare. Thank you.
Thank you.
We won't be
for
forgetting
surviving
you
in this
soon.
place.
Be it for better or worse. I still believe that the best plan here is to take advantage of Maelor's safety for perhaps a year and then return. Going on about the beauties of the wasteland above, you could create an opening. But if you are so dedicated to your death sentence, which may in itself be a result of their knowledge of your link to the divergence, as he looks over to Yael, so be it. But it is never the wiser minds that prevail. It's always the dawdled masses who wish to dwell in slavery. And still, I shall wish you luck. The Krien, having only grasped a quarter of this conversation, one of them walks up, seeing the clear exchange of wealth, and thanks you for a gift, raising their forearms out to take both of your hands, one at a time, giving a nod and this lowering of antennae over their eyes. And this odd bow, their two lower arms extend behind them. Irash. Unsahedi translates. Crow says that even in ash, life can be found. In time, all can heal. Though I cannot say I share his same hopes for peace.
We'll give you a reason to. Hopefully in time. And I'm gonna nod back to the Kreen, try and imitate what they just did to me. And then go stand behind Yale again. I am overwhelmed.
Seems that the conversation has taken an end here. Sahir turns back around, grabs the lever, looks at everyone for confirmation. The passage is now open.
Yael walks up to Unsahedi and sort of squeezes whatever hand she can reach.
He has these massive trunk-like arms, which are the forelimbs, and the ones beneath them are smaller. Still bigger than the average arm of a Lore or, an elf. but you come up and wrap your arms almost fully around the trunk-like forelimb as he looks down at you. Are you sure you wish to go? They may be trying to execute you with this.
She looks at him and says, the stories that I told you about Allie. That's what this is. This is my chance to see if they're real and to see if they're true. And if I die in the process, at least I'll be with her again.
Nods, the stalks of his eyes kind of pull down. What semblance of sorrow that could ever possibly be gleamed on such an alien creature? I do not shame you for your love, but do not forget those that you would leave behind you. You are a great warrior. Remain such. The divergence would be lost without you.
Yael smiles, and there are tears in her eyes. And she says, it's good to be with you again, friend.
I could go. I am certain not all those who walked through that gate would be happy to stand beside me. But if you ask, I will try.
Yael cocks her head and looks at him and just says, "You're needed here, friend."
Unfortunately, the others, they are too weak. They understand their own part, but not the whole that has changed with time. Go well. I will await your return. And when the fight comes, I will be beside you.
Yael nods and leads Koth out. And as they cross the threshold and they're sort of out of earshot, she looks back at him and says, we should probably speak in private, shouldn't we?
Supposed to be shall.
So Yael is going to lead Koth back through. And there was a balcony, right?
There's a few different balconies, atop parapets outside. You can go to one of the higher parapets where there likely isn't much of a patrol, as they don't really have the weaponry to fire or keep an eye out from that high. There you would likely find peace.
On the way, Yael is going to stop by Yata and grab one of the bottles of Elven Fire wine off of him.
Okay. Travel down there. Yata, this imposing beast, though small enough to fit through the gates, is curled up within one of the distant corners beside the twin grand staircases leading up to the second floor of the lobby. You go there, and saddle, or unlatch one of the saddle packs, find what you're looking for, and return to, I'd say, the 5th and highest floor above ground of Malor, where you find one of 3 parapets. It overlooks the bioluminescent wilds of the Dusk Meadows below, dwarfing everything beneath it. You look over the subterranean horizon and see as the glow dims in the distance.
Yael's gonna uncork the wine bottle, take a swig of it, and then hold it up to Koth and say, I don't have time for your full initiation into the Divergence. But there's a portion of it I think you might be interested in.
I'll grab the wine and take a sip. Take on. I feel like there is much I need to know.
She'll just kind of consider him for a minute before turning and kind of sitting down against the wall and looking up at him. We'll just start to recite a poem. Have you ever heard told, on a night such as this, the tale of the matron queen, leader of the damned, mother of the broken, keeper of a long-sought dream? Well, let me tell you a wonderful tale. Sit here, I'll pour the wine. She kind of nods at the wine bottle. This is a story of revolution. Settle in now. This will take some time. Long ago, in a haven for gloom, a young girl walked the streets. She's ripe, they said, to breed, be wed, spoken high up in their keeps. But the young girl knew to break her bonds, for she had seen the cruelty of the clan, that the only way to live is free. And so she formed a plan. Secrets kept, whispers traded, an army there was formed. Not of soldiers trained by might, but the small, the quiet, the forlorn. But in that was the mistake they made, those crimson-eyed high lords. They forgot the power of pain runs deep and is bound like iron cords. So they persisted that small army, whispers carried as a breeze. Eradicate the plague, they said, get rid of the disease. And so the night they'd waited for fell dark and silent as the grave. Leave none alive, none to fear, said the matron to her fellow slaves. And so they did as she instructed. Much high blood was spilled that night. The punishment is death, they said, and did what they thought was right. The heads were mounted, dark rewards for the broken, who slew the fair-haired rulers. But caught they were, for the guard was swift, when it came to the low-born intruders. But the story did not end there. No, the revolution did not die. Its heart lived on, its message spread. More blood paid, their freedom to buy. So what will you do, our newest recruit? Will you hide and run away? Or will you stand and fight with us and bring back the light of day? And with the final line, Yael sort of cocks her head and just stares intently at Koth.
Looking over the garden, Koth responds, I'm here now. I stand with you all. I won't pretend to know entirely what that means, what that implies. But what I've seen here in Maylor, I believe in. Whatever it is. It's good. And I'll do whatever I can for this place. for these people.
Yael considers him for a moment and says, the descendant of those crimson-eyed high lords, the descendants of those crimson-eyed high lords are here. I know you know this.
I do. Whether or not they live up to their legacy, I don't. But they seem to be as confused as we are, at least to some extent.
Yael nods, relieved that Koth is on the same page. You know Avanti better than I do.
Not that much better.
Yael seems
It's
kind
been-
of shocked at that.
It's been difficult to talk with him. I doubt I am among his friends in his eyes. Sure, I can tell you things about him from my experience with him with Droven and just being around him, but beyond that, I don't know how he thinks, and I doubt I will truly see it. He doesn't trust me right now, and I doubt that will change. But continue.
Well, after his small move of honoring my fallen comrades, I think he may be starting to trust me, or he could be playing me for a fool. But
If it's like a fool, it's not personal. Do whatever you can to get him to trust you. Say whatever it is about me that you need to. Just be warned that many people have their eyes on Avanti, and the powers at their disposal are terrifying.
Yael
Just know
nods.
we're surrounded by danger. Don't forget it.
And here I thought most of this mission would be about killing aberrations.
I look at the garden. If only it was that simple, but I'm sure there would be many opportunities to do that.
Saying that, you see the trees kind of stir in the distance. Nothing you can make out, but you know there's something there. The many-colored avians flocking away, many wings beating on the air of pearlescent colors. There's so much life in that place below. So much of it. In this violent contest of survival.
Do you know a lot about Aegis? What, the counselor you supposedly serve?
Yael considers him for a moment. and cast an insight check with
Okay.
guidance. That is a shit insight check. Maybe it's not so shit. 14.
The expression on Koth's face and the words, it's you can tell it's curiosity, but he is looking for an answer for something. There is, even though he hasn't said it, there is clearly something he's trying to figure out.
I know that he tends to be more, how should I put this, giving towards the commoners. But I'm not sure if it's for his own self-interests or because he truly cares. He's proven trustworthy with certain pieces of information about my past. But like any counselor, he's not exactly one for small talk.
I understand that, and I know he's in charge of the defenses of the Sectorum walls. Does he inspect them himself? Does he see to it personally that they that they hold up?
Hey DM, does he have gophers for that, or does he do it himself?
He has gophers. He has had a level of scrutiny by the other council for public appearances. He's strode the streets of Gloomhaven, the lower sectors, flinging wealth from his armored transport. He's greeted the walls of Gloomhaven at least once since you've been with him. He walked through and personally thanked the Blackguard serving there, shook their hands, embraced them, offered them specially cast medals of valor. But it is far outside the norms of a counselor to do such. And in a moment of conjunction with his fellows, you remember him getting scolded by the Counselor of Wrath and Tenet for his lackadaisical manner and the stoking of his own ego in flaunting his wealth and power, and how it offsets that of the council as a whole. But in terms of all the others within the Nine, he has walked amongst the people. He has granted the downtrodden wealth. And he has shown anger in their neglect. He has pushed for the sanctum walls to be expanded, for the efforts of new ones to be built, rather than dwelling in their current state or seeking an outside reclamation.
Yeah.
In terms of that, he has gained your respect, I would say.
So Yael sort of summarizes all of that without detail and without mentioning that it was Wrath that got upset. She just says that she knows that he's rubbed other counselors the wrong way, but doesn't name them.
Okay.
And sort of ends off with, he's done enough to earn my respect as a person, despite his status.
That's reassuring to hear. Do you think if he had the ability to save more people of the congruency, that he would give up his own position or some of the leverage of it in order to save the lives of the many?
Would you like me to add some detail to that?
I think I remember. I'm just trying to figure out how to word it. I think given the right leverage, possibly. But when given power, the threat of that power being taken away can change a person.
I nod to that. I understand. There's much going on, but yeah, I'll make a persuasion check.
I'm going to add guidance to that.
And add advantage if I can make that call.
Oh, thank God, because that was a 2.
Go on ahead.
13.
Okay. There is a lot I've been trying to learn about the counselors and what they can do, or what their intentions are, what their plans are, and I'm scared. But beyond that, I'm more scared of the Ashen Gate, what lies beyond it. It's easy for me to lie to the counselors, the Praetor, and many others. But to the people in that room just now, it is difficult to deny them the hope that they've craved to hear their entire lives. I have no doubt that there are going to be challenges and difficulties on the journey. And it doesn't feel right to withhold this information from the Vanguard, but I have to. There is much we are going to encounter. But I thought you deserve to know, since you've taken much risk for me. There is life. I'm going to whisper. As I was looking in the garden talking, I'm going to lean in close to Yael and whisper, I know there's life on the surface that can rival the Dusk Meadows. And I know we walked to it. But our duty remains here to these people, to the Dusk Meadows, and we cannot get lost in the beauty and what awaits us.
Gael's gonna roll a fortitude check.
Oh, cool. DC 20.
This is a DC 10.
It's bullshit.
Near 50-50.
That's a 2. That's a
Roll a
2.
d4.
Yael's losing it. Oh, thank God. It's only a 1.
All right, roll a d6.
Oh, God damn it. That's a 6.
Gain 6 stress.
Okay. So, upon gaining 6 stress, Yael has to take a second to collect her shit. And she just says, it's going to be hard. I won't lie.
It will be. But if what we do, we have to do what we have been assigned. We have to perform this act. And even though I'm unsure how the other Praetorian will act once we get to the surface, but I need you to be prepared. Because I doubt I could handle it alone. We both have a mission to fulfill.
Yael slowly turns and looks at Koth and says, well, I am a soldier first and foremost, and I will act as such as long as I need to. And with that, she stands and sort of squeezes Koth's shoulder and begins to slowly walk back in.
I nod at Yael as she leaves, and I stay on the balcony for like 5 minutes.
As you stay on the balcony, you look in the meadows. Whatever that was traipsing through the trees, rocking them back and forth, has gone silent. As you see the distant flocks settle, the giant buzzing insects move in clouds, gathering around the alien arrays of foliage. A single sapphire-winged bird lands upon the railing beside you. This long, curved beak with black eyes like an azure raven. Long tail feathers, almost eccentric for such a creature, just looks at you, clacks its beak. This odd connection to such a small animal, this minuscule life in such a grand battle for power. There's peace here. Even though you know what defines this place. The eras that have ruptured through that glowing meadow so far down. And what lies far above. There's peace. And for some, there's freedom.
Koth is going to take a moment to cry as he watches the scenery before collecting himself, putting his hand, wiping his face, sighing, and then re-entering.
With your sigh, the
Mabel.
bird flies away, leaving behind a lone blue feather.
Everything is fine.
Everything's fine.
Are we good to bring everyone back in here?
Yeah.
Is it okay if we take like a quick 5-minute break?
Yeah, we'll take a quick 5-minute break. We will get everybody back in here and we shall continue.
And I'm going to pause recording.
I'm cold.
Cold.
Okay,
It's
we are
cold.
recording again.
All right. We are back as Koth and Yael make their way down the many winding stairs all the way down to the first floor lobby of Maelor. The bustle hasn't changed, though perhaps your perspectives have. If there is any interactions you like to go about, perhaps experimenting with the locals who've taken up this place, making what meager purchases are available, or merely waiting out the night's dusk until the subterranean dawn of tomorrow, where you will make ever further onto the Ashen Gate. As for the rest of the party, since we took our quick little break, Hyliak, this is an interesting new environment. You see creatures that you've only witnessed bound, mutilated, limbs removed, wings plucked, shackled or otherwise in labor, express their passions. You find these small idols, chiseled and carved of insectoids, many arms coiled up within this tubular confinement, multiple eye sockets. Whether they're divine or a self-depiction, you cannot tell. There's various crafts. There's one you walk by that is otherwise tempting to gesture you forward in this gurgling language of clacking mandibles that you don't quite understand. Hoisting up a chainmail shirt of different colors, some links rusted, some of different metals. It seems that it was various pieces of chainmail, different sizes even, that have been linked together to create something new.
Is this bug? Is he a merchant?
There are plenty of merchants, and this one would be considered one of them. This is a Korean, a four-armed insectoid, ant-like in nature, on average, but a few inches shorter than the typical Lore elf. But he's one of many.
Are there any? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. What
Are
would
there
you be
any
looking
merchants selling musical instruments?
for? Funnily enough, I'd say there's a few. The one foremost that catches your attention is an interesting song, an even more interesting instrument. It's like a table without legs laid upon their chitinous legs as they sit down on a repurposed block that came loose from the walls. It's amazing. Their extra limbs can achieve this complex rhythm, this multi-layered strumming, as one hand almost has what looks to be like a wooden blade, like what would be at the head of a hatchet, but constructed out of wood that they slide up and down against strings that are pulled taut along this slab of wood atop their knees. As they slide that around, the other hands pluck at it. This may be a song, and likely is a song that's only achievable with their physiology.
Wow.
As they strum back and forth, you do see semblance of more traditional instruments. You see a lyre. You see a harp. Not of the finest craft, but they create a tune nonetheless.
Is there a loot?
There is a lute. One that looks like it has been cracked at a point in time and restrung with strings of different fibers and metal. Perhaps it was one that was scavenged from a broken caravan or traded by one of the passing Dwera. But it has been repaired and it works nonetheless. Its crack filled with this cement-like mucus that you've seen in the repairing of a wall used before. As you pointed out, the worker still plays their instrument with 3 hands grabbing it from the side where it leans against their sales desk. This scavenged table, likely from what was once a cafeteria within Malor. They hold it up, taking their other hand while still playing their song with their lesser forelimbs. They perfectly crescendo into this portion of the song with slighter plucks of noise. They hold it up, looking you over. And all they do is hold out their hand.
I don't speak bug language.
They don't even speak. They just play their song. This doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
You know, in Darkest Dungeon, the jest.
We'll say it's very similar to that. But all they do is hold out their hand. No gurgled spurts of insectoid words. Only the expectation of some payment for the item before them. A trade determined by whatever you place within that open palm. These 3 elongated fingers curl and look up at you.
Before I just hand this guy some money, I'm gonna try and communicate with him.
Okay.
Because I want to learn a bit of bug.
It will likely be very difficult, but you can certainly try.
I'm gonna. Do I have like something to write with? Hold up. Let me look at my bag.
Believe being a warlock, you might
Yeah, I
have
have an
some
ink pen.
starting parchment.
I have an ink
Yeah.
pen. I'm gonna write inside one of the empty pages of the Zuthar Librium and use it as a notepad.
Okay. You open it up, and to the page that you open, as if willing to your desire, it is blank and awaiting text.
How much for the loot? Parentheses right in bugling.
You flip over the text and you can gather that this individual can understand the written text of the lore. There's some confusion at the parentheses right in bug text. As they take with their open arms, they set the lute on the table before them, still playing their song. And they take a quill that's on it before them. As you've seen, there's often written discourse between the blended races that move about here. He writes it and turns it back to you. It's written in lore. You read, a trade is a trade, whether it be food, curio, or mere metal. But no written language is known to me. I was born within the sanctum walls, and the only text I know, the only text I bear, is yours.
This motherfucker speaks English.
But he can't speak it.
Oh, he can't.
He understands written language. He may understand spoken commands, but has, through some means or another, began to understand written text and can communicate through that. As lacking any semblance of a mouth or physiology resembling that of most humanoids, it is very, very difficult for an insectoid to mimic the speech of the Lore. And those that do stand as pinnacles of achievement and are typically very, very old, uncharacteristically so.
I'm looking through my backpack, see if there's anything he might want.
You know that there's some level of a famine, and that it seems that others exchange with wooden tablets that they may have carved here over general currency. This is a place of trade.
So they like food. They like food.
You could even trade a stray curio or something odd if you have it in your inventory.
I've got this Allistus iconography.
Oh, I mean...
Does he like that?
You pull it out. Was it just iconography that was listed?
Yep.
You pull out this signet ring of what would typically be seen as silver, but the tone of it is far lighter, as if the metal from its surface source is slightly different. Even the ode, the primordial essences of earth, are warped by the abyss. And you hold this out towards him. The head creaks against the chitinous plates in curiosity as it goes to pluck it from your hand, looking up at you as it's two of its 3 fingers. Pinch it. Hand you the loot. And it does a courtly bow, extending the other arm outwards before returning to its song and slipping the ring over the smaller of its forelimbs finger. So you can remove that from your inventory and add a loot.
I'm gonna write. I'm not done talking to this guy yet. He may be trying to run away after the transaction, but I'm not done talking. So I'm gonna write in my book. I'm gonna say, "What's your name?"
You exchange the book. The creature takes the quill at its side, dips it in a well of charcoal ink, and scribes. My captors merely called me Krien, like all my brothers. I have taken up the name of Illic.
Illic. What kind of? You might have said this before. What kind of bug is this guy? Like, what does he look like?
This is a Krien. The Krien are ant-like at best, with these pseudo-beige shells of chitin. They're more lithe than they are hulking like the Herculons. He has a set of primary arms and a smaller set of forelimbs beneath them. So 4 arms total, with these tetigrade-like legs that bend backwards at the joint as he stands atop his toes. Most Krien are comparable in size to the Lore elves, but slightly smaller, with long antennae overhead and faces that resemble something in between a wasp and an ant, with these gnashing pincers and almost like multiple tendrils like tongues that peer out and gurgle whenever they speak in their insectoid tongue.
Okay, I'm gonna write down Uh, Illic, you play a wonderful instrument. What is that?
He takes it and he does another bow. A slight thank you as the antenna go down and cover his eyes ever so slightly. He looks back up, writes as the song continues. Turns it back around to you. It is known to my people as a Verex. This instrument, an instrument made known to me by my father and his father before him and him. And he does take some time writing this as he turns it atop the table and then turns it back, scribing it down once more. It is a piece of our resilience. We do not speak amongst the masters, but in our silence we forge instruments and song.
Wow. That's so awesome.
He plays the song. And to kind of humor you, he pulls this wooden blade and slides it across, and it creates this a hum like a violin, mixed in like the pluckings of a harp with thicker bands. This is almost a 30-stringed instrument, as some are thicker and sound like a lute. And the song changes and grows complex. This is a musician. And though he wasn't born into it, and it was hard fought to discover his purpose, he has, and it's of his own making.
I write back this sanctuary. What's the name of the sanctuary that we're in?
This is Maylor. It is an old Vanguard outpost that has since then been repurposed.
I write back in the book. I say, are the people of Maylor, are they scared or are they joyful?
You turn it back around, and that's when the song stops. And just looks at the paper and thinks. Dips into the charcoal ink. We are scared, but we are free. The fear we have is in losing what we have found.
I fear that too. That as someone from Dusk, I know that the government doesn't look kindly on outcast.
You turn the page back over and he writes, what does he write? They have cold hearts, but it brings joy to know there are those that burn brightly in body and heart.
would you be interested in helping me with the little performance for the group, for the town? I'll pay you.
Turn the book back over once more. A hand raises and writes, "A song it is." And the lute is in your hands as he
I don't know how to
begins.
play the lute yet, but I want him to play.
Oh,
I want him to play the song.
play the song. The tone changes, and you can almost sense an increased strength in the plucking of the instrument as it grows louder and louder. The many arms move across each other. It grows faster and faster. You can feel your blood almost pulse to the increase in the thrumming sound of this instrument as all 30 chords vibrate in movement, the wooden blade coursing through them, channeling them together as it reaches a crescendo when dun, 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 dun,
Okay,
dun,
hold
dun.
up.
But it ramps up and grows sorrowful. Yeah.
I'm gonna grab him by the arm and lead him to the center of town. I'm gonna lead him right out into the middle of the open.
It is a hefty instrument to move, but he has enough arms to grab it and carry with him, though it is slow moving. And he positions cross-legged on the ground and begins to play as your emerald light oversees him.
Now I want to do a performance check, and I want to do a fire dance like I did that one night at the bonfire.
Okay. Tell you what, I would say make a performance check at advantage, considering that he is assisting you in this.
I'm hoping to perform for everyone in the market, everybody that's around. I'm trying to draw a crowd.
There is a vast array of those who've taken up home here, as well as other Praetorian Vanguard. Thaladoon is upon there. Verati is still around. I'd say even Avanti is still moving around the marketplace area, going about his own interests. Antonid, Zolanthier, the daughters of Solus who have secluded themselves in an observing corner. Volus and Malador Leos. Malador, especially of all, shows some interest in this growing tune as he walks forward.
I rolled a 12, but I would like to use one of my stage points.
Okay. So use a stage point to raise that to a 13.
Can someone give me a melody? Can someone give me a melody that the bug guy is playing?
Don't want to play any official music, because that might be copyright.
No official music.
That's good, because I was just going to do Home from Undertale.
No official music.
I'd say the best description of it has this Middle Eastern twang is and there's this hum ever constant in the background to the sliding of the wooden blade across it. It is a complex song.
Is there a crowd?
People do begin to gather around. You gather that his music is a constant staple of this area so long as he resides behind his stake in the marketplace. But as it's growing louder and as you grow brighter and begin to enter this dance, this slow whirling as the dark black sentinel's robes, the tails of it rise into the air as you pirouette and dance around this lone Krian. Those that approach first are the other Krian. They apparently recognize this song.
I'm gonna
And then
try and
others.
sing along to it, okay? I'm gonna sing. Are you ready?
Oh no, yep.
Are you ready? I prepared for this.
Oh man.
Hit me with the melody again. There once was a gaggle so cringeful and ready. Casting some sportsmen, they cut down a plenty. I've witnessed this, but they boast a big game. Haven stood, but listen the same. Not one knows the other, but each follows through. With selfish intent, the bill comes due. A weakness proposed in armor of black. Trust is the course these fools highly lack. Listen now, my friends, I propose a savior. A trustworthy fellow whose flame shan't waver. He felled the beast 10 times his size. Of course, this led to his own demise. But yet he lives on with words of power. I know you each tire of entertainment so sour. So let us go on and conclude the ballad of Lyre. And dance to the fantastic display of fire.
Oh man. I'd say that adds a bonus onto the roll. That adds a hefty bonus. As the song begins to take up with the tune, the indentured servants made free in this place move forward, recognizing the tongue of their people, and see one who doesn't fit that appearance so true. But you twirl and dance as your arms outstretch, sending waves of flame and light. This emerald emblazonment that overpowers the amber torches, flying, burning high upon the sconces on the wall. The whole lobby develops this hue of green as the daughters of Solus rise from their position, look on. Thaladoon moves up and initiates this cheer. I didn't know. As a group does gather with the display and the song, even the Korean that don't understand the words, these aphids, these Mothra, so many insectoid creatures and free folk listen onwards. And some walk forward, laying down these wooden planks in front of the artist. There's even a single copper coin that falls before them. The Korean, in a cheer, raise their heads, their mandibles part, as the tendril tongues exclude out, and this praise, this cheer. Some actually come up to you, and you notice there are some younglings there. These hatchlings who come up and are almost daunted by raising a hand towards you. Some touch your robes, feel the silks. Others move towards your hands as they begin to rest at your side. And the chitin is enough to protect them from the flames somewhat as they touch and move away. There is an awe, and you've gathered the eyes of some of these people. And there's a roaring applause and cheers of many different voices.
Are they inspired?
I would say that everybody in this room does gain inspiration. And you gain roll a D4 for me.
Oh. That's a 4.
Gain 4 stage points.
Wow. Wow.
Even as the DM, I was blown away by that. That was good. And the words you spoke are almost amplified by the song, as there is a slip of paper that is gathered as the Korean who played the song, Ilak, gathers a parchment requesting it from one of his fellows and writes upon the torn parchment, is the Song of Freedom.
The Ballad of Liars is the song Freedom.
The Ballad of Liars, and what he wrote on there is what he played was the Song of Freedom, and what you sang was the Ballad of Liars.
Wow. I'm gonna give him.
And through some association, perhaps some of these people view you as a light in the dark now. A mysterious figure who came. You give him a coin, and he crosses all 4 of his arms across his chitinous chest, leans over his legs and bows. You don't understand the words he says, if they can be deemed words at all. But you gather they're a means of thanks, a means of honor.
I'm gonna learn how to play this flute.
That you should. You are a charismatic character. Who's only fitting. Thaladoon walks out clapping his hands.
Giga Chad Paladin.
Now, if I'm a wise man, which I'm at least wise enough to admit that I am not, I would say I've borne witness to that ballad you sang.
Oh man.
Virati joins him. You're more interesting every second I travel with you, friend. Just as dangerous as you are, though. I think you've given these people something to escape even further than this outpost can offer. Quite a performance.
I don't know what to say. I'm stun locked.
Avanti. You just witnessed Hyliak break out into this song.
Yeah.
Is he even here?
Yeah, I'm here.
You would have witnessed this from a distant corner. You would have heard the uptune and plucking strings. You would have ignored it at first as the song's been going, though louder at this moment. And then you would have heard a familiar voice begin to pick up in song. You're almost shocked as you turn to see someone that you had a level of worry about. But weeks ago within Duskhelm, in this expression of joy, this telling of the tales that you've lived within. And you see a crowd around him, cheering him, looking to the light that he shines. Do you just watch on?
There's no reason to interrupt his moment.
Okay. You give him the due respect. Your crimson eyes peering through the crowd at one you may deem brother. And you feel what you might. The crowd does take a moment to disperse, and there is a slew of new wealth before Hilak. Wealth that he scoops within his arms. He nods a thanks to you. And you shake one of his smaller hands as He takes his instrument, and moves back to the table, and he plucks a string from it. It hums as he does. He looks it over, ties a knot in it, and hands it to you. It's something that could be a necklace tightened into a multi-layered wristband or attached onto an instrument. You now have a silver string. Or it's a silver string, but a string for an instrument. And quite valuable, though, in what he just gained, especially in the platinum, it may not be much. And I'd say whatever instrument that is strung with grants a +2 onto performance checks.
Wow. Wow. How do you spell this guy's name?
ILAAK.
Nice.
Which, this operates like a magic item, but it isn't. What grants it its power is the spirit of the musician within and the songs it is strummed. There's a piece, perhaps, of the soul of one who plays it. And all who have. And through that continued strumming and the emotion of song, it has gained magic outside mana. And it holds in it passion, sorrow, and power. It may be even closer to the powers of the surface and that wielded by the Order than that of the Sectorum and their Enlight Seminary. For there is a piece of perhaps many souls within that string.
Wow.
Wow.
That's pretty awesome. Well, that's all Hyliak wanted to do
All right.
for now.
That was amazing, man. So I will put that together in my notes really quick. If anybody
Well,
else would like...
I'll send you the lyric later.
Yeah, man. Honestly, it actually makes me very happy that you put the time and the care into something like that, into something that I put so much of the same into there. So thank you as the DM. That was awesome.
Thank you, DM.
Okay. I will get that created in D&D Beyond, and by next session you will have that officially. If you'd like to string that onto your new instrument, you certainly can.
I would.
It does not require attunement, so. All right. And if anybody else would like to go about any business in Maylor, you certainly can. Nora is busy down below healing the sick and injured. Whereas the rest of the Praetorian majority begin to go down and find some private area amongst the strewn hammocks latched between stone pillars and raised wooden stakes supported on the ground. There's some tables with beds made out of ripped up grasses and such stuffed within various cloths and scraps stitched together. Oh, excuse me. So if you would like, you can find a place to rest and meditate throughout the dusk and awake to a new morrow of dawn, where you shall continue down the Ashen Trail and leave the free hold of Maylor behind you.
Yeah, how long are we staying in Malor?
Just a single night.
Yeah, just a night.
Wow.
I feel bad for these guys.
Why is that?
I mean,
Eventually. Doesn't matter when. Doesn't matter. It's probably, even if it's not us, eventually they're going to be pushed out, and it's not going to be pretty if they don't do it willingly. Not that it's going to be us. But but it's probably going to be, if what we want to happen, this is probably going to become one of the standard outposts on that path. Especially since it's already made and somewhat
We're gonna
fortified.
make sure that the people of Malor are okay.
They broke the law. And the congruency doesn't really forgive.
So did I.
Yeah, but we don't know.
Yeah, but nobody knows it.
Yeah, but nobody knows that. There's a difference
Maybe I
between
brought
doing
it up on the-
doing some. There's a
maybe I
difference between
brought-
doing shady, messed up stuff on the side where no one can see, and blatantly taking over an outpost run by the congruency, even if it was abandoned.
But no one can see it.
Maybe I should stay with the people of Malor. Maybe I belong.
these are my people. Hey, you make a hell of a messiah of the free.
And I thought I was Bug Jesus. Maybe I was wrong.
You're wrong.
God damn it! Somebody beat you to it.
Someone beat me to it. Fuck.
Not quite, not quite. He just
Yeah.
made a very passionate song and drew many eyes.
No, but you don't understand. Now if I become Bug Jesus, they're
Funnily
going
enough-
to use his image to represent me. I've already lost. He's become an Ike. There's no winning.
He does stand out quite readily too as a figure of evocational force. He is a primordial born, which potentially could even exist amongst the Krien, but would still die in youth, even just simply at birth. He is something that is an oddity, and oddities with enough power and charisma can typically be deemed as messiahs.
I'm not the Messiah.
Bryce, I think
You
you thought
played
you
a
got
good
ooze all
song.
over
You
them.
played a good song. You have to be the Messiah.
Surely people who are granted gifts by the world, willful or otherwise, are intended to use them, or so assume the masses.
So I kind of started a cult.
Not yet, not yet. You gained the
That
interest.
time you can.
You gained the interest of the free people and have likely granted them a memory that not many of them will forget. The day that a Praetorian adorned in black robes and gleaming sindania walked in, not in war but in peace, and shared a song with someone who would be deemed a slave by their betters. You inspired them. You distracted them from the gloom of ever-present wilds and consuming aberrants and the malicious constraints of a dying empire. And though you gained praise, you're not to Messiah levels. At least not yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
But if you ever do, there may be the chance that some mention the first song of the burning god.
So what's everyone else gonna do today? What's your plan for this lovely day?
If we can all come into agreement, we can wrap the day up well, as I'd say we are getting into dusk at the present moment, and move on to continued travel.
Okay.
Antonid would have likely spent the day and his long rest, as well as probably a lot of the travel time bonding with his bird.
Which I did forget about last session. but it is ever present, latched onto your shoulder, and thankfully, you wear enough armor that its talons cannot pierce.
He wants to
Oh,
get to a point with it
no.
where he can just set it free. He has to get some trust going with it. He has to get a
So we're all
rapport
going. So
with
we're
it.
all going in for the night.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
well,
I'll read
well,
mine.
well.
No, I'm
Oh,
just gonna
that's
read
right.
out.
That's right. Abraham.
Oh yeah.
I can deal with the Abraham stuff privately because that might be a minute.
Okay.
And I doubt I would. Yeah, I can deal with it privately to save on time. Smile.
Well, depending on how long we go, you might be leaving Maylor, but we'll
In
see.
the
We'll see.
wee hours of the night,
Okay.
after everyone's taken their long actions, turned in, sleep. Maybe a watch is set by one of the guards. Some of I don't know which turn it would be for who, which group.
I always keep watch.
There is
No,
a
you-
loose guard amongst the Praetor Vanguard. I would say Calidor is awake. Kaizal stands guard beside him, whether to keep him in line or to merely accompany him. Can't really make sure. As Zelenar of the Daughters of Solus also stands awake and at guard. And Zuriel overlooks Nora as she continues, even in her dreary state, to work on healing these people with the magics that were gifted to her.
In those time, I am going to first cast Fortune's Favor on myself using one of the congealed bloodstone I have, which can take the spot of a second level spell component. And then I'm going to make a stealth check to a certain location that I'll reveal after I make my stealth check, because I don't want. It's not that I don't want the person to know I'm coming. It's just that I don't want anyone to know I'm going there.
So you can roll a stealth check.
I'm going to use something I have never once used, but I have had since I think like session 8, which was over a year ago. I am going to use my oh crap, I gotta find it. Not my Night Sentinel robes. My Duskwalker cloak's one charge to add a D8 to a single stealth check of a day.
Yeah. You got that from Umbara, right? Yeah. Yep.
That's a 12, and then I roll my D8. That is 4, so 16.
16. So everyone else is either meditating or asleep. Passive perceptions. I mean, there are active guards of the free people, but they wouldn't necessarily be. They'd be keeping an eye on you, but they wouldn't be like, "Hey, what are you doing up, pal?"
Does anyone within the guard notice? The Praetor.
They rolled a 9 plus 2 for an 11. You go unnoticed. Well, it would be on their passive perceptions because they're not actively looking for you. And I think the wisest would be Zuriel. Let's see, character notes. Just because I want to check. I want to check their stats just to be sure. Thaladoon isn't wise. Thaladoon's snoring right now. Oh, no, she's got 11. Would Zelenar notice? Nope, that's a 5 plus 3. No one notices. At least from what you gather, no one notices.
I have never used the Duskwalker cloak once. This is my first time using it.
So just a question. I'm not actively looking for Sam, but I'm also not technically asleep.
So that would use your passive perception to see if you
Okay,
notice
then
him.
yeah, he's good. He's
No.
good.
Okay.
Now we might want to end on a cliffhanger here because this is going to be a long conversation. Probably, maybe. That's in private.
Is this a Okay, so this is a conversation where you'd like the rest of the class to take a back
Has to
seat.
go up.
Okay.
Wait, if
Stand
this is
outside
wait, hold on.
Yael's tent.
Sorry.
Oh,
I do have something I want to do. If this is gonna be the
Do
end
a
of the session.
faint knock and beginning and like walk in and say, "So you wanted to talk?"
you knock on the wall as the confines here are separated at best and typically rarely by cloth sheets hanging by thread, embedded by steel stakes in the wall, or hanging from hooks already within the ceiling. You find Yael. Where do you think Yael would make her place to rest?
So Yael would be where Yata is.
Okay. So Yael would probably be sleeping curled up within the gray thunderous mane, gently coiling with thin trickles of electricity between the fibers of hair. This giant lion-like beast with 5 closed eyes. And where Yata decided to be was within a nestled corner between one of the 2 grand staircases in the lobby and the wall. So it's secluded enough, and the marketplace, quote unquote, has died down enough. Though there are still some of the free folk moving about. It's less than a dozen. I'd say all the Praetorian Vanguard are, besides Calidor, who would be standing up on the 2nd story, and Kaizal, who only if there's shouting would be able to overhear, are within there.
So what does Yael do?
All right. Did we want to do this in private?
Yeah, which I'm like, do you want to like? Because it's probably gonna be like a good hour. I know we usually end at like 10 anyway.
Hyliak, you said you wanted to get something knocked out. Do you want to knock that out really quick?
Yeah.
I just want to roll for the Eos research real quick.
Of course.
Putting this off if anyone else has anything they want to do tonight.
Goth.
Border, can I do my actions with you privately?
We can. We can record those separately.
I
That's
shake
fine.
your hand. You're a good man, Border. You're a good man.
Because we will probably end at dusk, and we will pick up next session at the fruition of dawn.
Okay.
So, what Hyliak wished to research Eos more, finding a dark corner amongst the many hammocks and strewn cloth and improvised bed tables. You find a silent place to meditate and attempt to enter the inner realms of your soul's essence.
So, what can you remind me how this works one more time?
So you will be making a spellcasting check, and if you want, I can get it pulled up for you because we have your research table on the doc.
Oh, yep.
The track sheet, I should say. The essence of Eos. So there are 3 long rest actions which you can take to attempt this, and they would be spellcasting checks. Since this is an essence of the soul, the DC is quite high, and it is set at 20. So your goal is to hit over 20. Because for every increment over 20, it's added onto your progress.
Should I just do 3 rapid fire spellcasting checks?
Yeah, if you're just looking to generally progress it, you certainly can. Yeah.
All right, first one. That is an 8. Did I have advantage with this before? I feel like I did.
Oh, because your patron was assisting you. Yes.
Do I still have advantage with this?
Your patron is one of the long thought dead gods whose main investment is getting you more powerful. So yes, the patron assists you.
All right. Well, that got worse. So, 6. Okay, that was the first one.
You struggle and you close your eyes, squinting as hard as you can, but all you're greeted with is darkness.
All right, the next one's a 12. Wow, this is some dog shit rolls. Oh, that's a nat 20 on the final one. That was the final one of the nat 20. 23 total.
So it'd be 23 total. Since you got a natural 20, the increment over is doubled. So you get 6.
Yes. Good work. Good knowledge gain.
As you squint and struggle until the assistance of your patron grows and grows. In your failure, you seed anger. When the greater lesson is to be found, there is more than persistence that leads to growth. It is learning from failure, taking it not at surface value, but at the lesson in which it truly is. Channel your emotion, harbor your memories, and draw them close. And you're pulled into the azure expanse and reconnect with this inner Eos, this sprawling sea of azure borealis strands with floating engrams of white. Roll a perception check.
This isn't passive perception.
This is not passive perception.
Perceiving. I'm very perceptive. That is an 11.
That is an 11. You look across the expanse, mulling over memories, both positive and not. You catch a glimpse of one of the larger engrams. Recent. It's of you dancing and twirling whirlwind of green flame before a green musician and a gathering crowd. It's strong. Larger than some of the others. But beyond that, you don't see anything out of place.
Well, that's
And that was
good.
Yep.
I'm glad.
Nothing wrong here.
Please.
I wiped the sweat away from my brow.
All right, and that was your third and final long rest action, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Did it get updated on the Google Doc?
Yep, I updated it. You are now 21 out of 100.
Nice. Big gains.
Big gains. So, with the conclusion of that, Koth, we agree that we can do the things with Abraham privately.
Yeah, do
So-
it. Just some tiny things. Nothing
just,
crazy.
just some teeny side of things.
Come here, Abraham. Please, let me go.
Gee whiz, this guy is shanked 30 times in the middle of a dark hallway in Maylor, huh? Nothing I gotta worry about.
All right, Avanti, we return to you. Secluded in the shadow of the dim sconces many put out. This corner, secluded away from the rest of the lobby. You hear the distant footfalls upon stone, though not many. You made care to scout the area before walking by. You're certain none noticed you, coated in a cloak of dusk. As if the shadows leapt to encase you, you made your way to Yael and knocked on the stone wall beside her. Yael, you awake amidst the dark light to see red eyes glowing through the dark at you.
Yael kind of jumps. It's a good way to get stabbed. Oh wait, we're doing this in private, aren't we?
Yep.
There's still a lot of people.
Or wait. Oh wait. Sam, is this something that you would want the rest of the players to enter the lounge for?
Schmiel.
Fuck, I'm muted.
Feel
I had a good comeback. I had a good line, everything, and now it's gone. It's gone to the wind.
Hey man, say it anyway. We can pretend like you weren't muted.
You wanted to talk? Minute, you could try.
That's badass.
I know, right? Just Bryce could go to the lounge. And I said, I'm joking, everyone could go to the lounge.
Okay, bye. This is gonna sound very awkward.
Mm-hmm.
I might need to be kicked from this fucking room. I misplaced my remote and I can't fucking find it. I found it. No, I got the door myself. Don't worry, I still got it.
Rips off the door handle, places it back
I'm
on.
good. You guys have a good talk now.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Oh yeah, like, what are you doing in the tent?
Oh, I'm just on my way out.
Oh, I'll see you later. We're joined at the hip. Sorry, gotta put a mint in.
I love that you can actually hear a door creak.
That was the cat.
That was the cat?
That was the cat.
Is that Loki? Does he sound like a
Yes,
squeaky door hinge?
he's heard
Oh,
sound
man.
effects. He's been sitting next to me smacking my arm this whole time because he wants pets.
Mother! Attention! Mother!
Okay. Where were we? I just threatened to stab you. And then, okay.
I wanted to talk.
I do. I just gotta find my notes.
No, it probably wasn't wise to let Koff sit in on something so intense.
Yael pauses. First and foremost, I want to apologize for what happened the other night. Well, I guess it's not the other night anymore. For what happened in Duskhelm. I've actually got a peace offering for you. And Yael is going to reach into her bag and hand over, I gotta get it right, the Regal Starfruit wine that she bought back in Duskhelm.
Oh. Apology accepted. And I'm sorry for making a scene into a bigger one.
Yael nods and says mistakes were made on both sides. Misunderstandings.
I nod my head.
I'll just cut to the chase. What do you know about your family and the revolution in Gloomhaven.
If you like, you can roll a history check.
I already passed the history check a long time ago, so I'm trying to remember exactly how it was phrased.
I would say you know the history that's written in the books.
Which would be, I remember, I heard they were once one of the great houses. They came off better in the, what was it called?
Era of evolution.
The era evolution than others. That they grew too big for their britches, so to speak, craved too much power, and thus were shot down. And in the final moments of the war, the city of, what was the city's name again?
Which one?
The one that was consumed by the Great Worm.
Reeve.
That Reeve was consumed. Is it called the Great Worm or was it the Great Maw?
The Dread Maw is what was
The
left
Dread.
in its wake. It was known as the Dread.
Consumed by the Dread. Thus ending the war. And those Nethrali left were pushed into exile.
But that of Gloomhaven, you don't sincerely know much of the revolt in Gloomhaven. I'd say, being as educated as you are, you know that the Inheritance War started there. That's it.
Started in Gloomhaven? I don't know much else about it specifically there.
The rebellion in Gloomhaven has been more so a bedtime story among those of us women capable of procreation. Sort of a warning. It was the trigger for the downfall of your clan and the start of the Inheritance War. The woman, Astara Body, is still considered a hero of sorts. The Sectorum put a memorial to her in the town square. But they lied about a lot. My intention in probing your thoughts, which I completely regret for the record, because I know how disrespectful it was to be sure that you had no intention of continuing your ancestors' bad breeding habits.
I'd say you can roll another history check, gaining some focus on that.
Forget folder. Two things. One, you told me, and two,
Oh, okay.
do you know I have a sister?
Yael immediately shits her pants. No.
I was taken when I was 5 years old by Droven to become an apprentice and study the arcane. But I remember my older sister and my mother, and I remember their fears. In fact, I think my sister, I hadn't had contact with them, but I remember she was trying to join the guard to get out of it. To find a way out. Those born in the slums of Duskhelm don't have much choice. My out was Droven. Hers was the guard. And I don't know if she made it yet. Or if she made it at all. But I still remember the fear.
Hold on. I need to collect myself. How old would your sister be?
She would, in the memory I had, which would have been a year or two, a year before Droven got me, she was around 12, 13. So she would have been 14 when I was taken, and now I'm 21, or 20. No, I'm 24. So she's in her early 30s.
Yeah, y'all.
You know what's funny? I thought about visiting them before we made this ascent, knowing that we're probably going to die doing this. But I let fear and disconnect of such time prevent me. Fear of how they would react to my long absence of no contact. And fear if I find what happened to them. She was strong. Oh, we had our fights, and there was a lot of underlying issues. But she was strong.
It's funny. Your sister's story isn't far off from my own. Do you really wish to see the downfall of the Sectorum?
Not completely. If we tear down the entire infrastructure that's been built, everything, then with the way we are now, after all that's happened, it could be the end of the Drow and all that reside in our society. That being said, a revolution of sorts does need to happen. A pruning of that which is not needed, of that which is unnecessary, and that which is harmful.
Insight check.
Okay.
Guidance.
Yeah. Do I get to see you use guidance? You do. Don't.
Is guidance semantic?
It's vocal and semantic, I think.
Oh.
Is it really?
That's why it's one or the other. That's why I always make the joke whenever Bryce casted that I go like, "Don't let go."
Hold on. I think the easiest way would just to go to Koth's character profile.
Not that I'm gonna stop you.
Oh my god, it is.
Guidance.
I never realized it was vocal.
Yeah.
Vocal and semantic. I would say the vocal aspect is just this this small hum, and you cross your fingers. It's something brief where it's just like
Don't let go.
And that is a 13.
It's the truth. Don't even need the roll. Wasn't trying to be deceptive or persuasive or anything.
Okay. I will say I've underestimated you incorrectly.
Many do. Whether it be my age or my bloodline.
DM, am I in I'm not in a tent, right?
You are still
Oh, wait.
secluded enough.
While I'm thinking about it, I should have done this earlier. I'm going to act Vision of the Veil Piercer. Do I see anyone looking in?
Vision of the Veil Piercer activates. You see a crimson apparition standing behind her. And if you turn your head, you see 8 standing behind you, scattered amongst the opening of the lobby that you can see from this narrow cut of it.
Is it Aranath Call or is it someone? Is it one of the others?
Their visage isn't full right now. They look like specters of red mist. There's not even a face or a nose. It is this drifting outline of red mist.
And while I probably should have done this earlier, Yael. It's honestly my fault for getting ahead of myself. I'm just gonna cast a privacy spell. All right, clicks that right?
Yael nods.
Sorry. I mean, I just learned this recently, so I'm still remembering to cast it. Often I'm gonna cast Anti-Divination Veil around the tent or whatever we're staying in.
It's a corner. It's essentially a cut between the grand staircase and the grand staircase is tall. I would say even at the low end of this, like at the peak, you've got like 30 feet of headroom overhead before there's like the second floor and like overlooking balcony that would go on to the other halls and wrap around the lobby. And then you've probably got 40 to 50 feet back into the lobby of, I'd say 40 feet back into the lobby until you reach the end of where the grand staircase begins its first step. You have decent privacy here. There are still those walking around the lobby, but none of them would really come into this off corner. This is a place that would likely collect and has quite a few cobwebs. As you cast Anti-Divination Veil, it coats the area of your desire, filling it just enough to remain out of eyesight of the others in this thin, misty veil. As you do with your Vision of the Veil Piercer active, it's like a gust of wind blowing the red mist, gently deshaping them for but a moment, but they reshape. Whatever causes them to apparate and watch is not bound by mana alone.
Yael kind of pats the bedroll next to her, indicating for Avanti to sit.
I'll do so.
How much do you know about Koth?
How much do you know about Ka?
How much do you know about Koth? No, I know that the face he bears is not necessarily his own.
That is true. Know that while I may not necessarily like Koth, when someone asks for my word to keep a secret and places their trust in me, I only break it if it threatens the greater whole.
Yael nods and says,
You're right in that the face he wears is not the one I saw when I met him for the first time. But, at least to my knowledge, what allows him to do so is not a threat to the greater whole. That could change. But right now, to my knowledge, it is not. And even if I do not like him, I will not break my word. This courtesy applies to you as well.
Yael nods and it has a little bit of a grin on her face. and says, "The face he wears is the face of my former commander. There's a reason my name and the name of my fellow Duskwalkers is not on any memorial wall. It's because our deaths were hidden. This is not my first journey to the Ashen Gate, and I don't think it'll be my last. It seems the place is a curse of mine. The first time that I traveled to the Ashen Gate was under the understanding that we would have allies there, but those allies turned on us. In the times since, in the millennia since, I've craved the death of the commander who killed my brethren. Including the drow that fought beside me, the spirit drow who fought beside me in Umbara.
Who is it you seek dead?
Daruhan.
You know he's really scary now. You know that. I assume you'd like to keep this secret between us.
Yes.
Do you seek Mercy dead as well, then?
I have no qualms with Mercy.
Then I'll tell you this. A little advice, tip, or information about Daurahan, and in conjunction Mercy. Whatever they are, or were, they aren't drow anymore.
Yael's rolling a fortitude check.
Let me roll for that DC. I think that'll be a 10 plus a D10. Let me say.
I don't quite know what they are. I just know what they aren't.
You're aiming for a DC 15.
Well, I failed, so.
Okay, roll a D4.
It's a 2 and then 2d6. That's a 10.
Add 10 stress. Let me know when you're getting close to the first barrier.
10 stress, jeez, that's a lot for just this stuff.
Yeah. What's crazy is the 1d4 to d6, that's just the base level of stress. More stressful scenarios go up to a d6 to a d8 and so forth.
I will also tell you, as you are now, I don't think you're strong enough to kill him. I saw him slice a Carnalisk in two with one swing. It wasn't a Carnalisk, what was it? It was a big creature. It was one we were struggling with like earlier. Was it a Carnalisk?
It was likely a Carnalisk.
Yeah, I saw him slice a fresh Carnalisk, one we missed in our first time in the outpost. He came in and killed it with one swing.
Oh no, I think it was the Scytherpedes.
A Scytherpede. He came in and killed it with one swing. Those things were scary. I forgot about those
Yeah,
things.
yeah, you would know what those things are. They're 5 to. They are roughly
The giant centipedes. Oh shit.
Yeah, they're roughly 30-foot long centipedes with dagger-like legs that each is the size of a scimitar.
Back in that fight.
And they are heavily armored. So much so that the early Vanguard recommended avoiding them entirely, as conventional arrows and arms could not pierce them unless they were enchanted.
Knowing Mercy. Putting aside what he is, in addition to that, knowing Mercy, she is one of the best and strongest spellcasters in the entire Sectorum. And any guard of her will have the best armor made of the best materials and have the best enchantments. And she won't let such a valuable asset die without giving him assistance. So either fight them both or isolate him from her.
Sorry.
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it is impossible. But as you are now, what I've seen of your skills, it's not enough.
Yael slowly nods. Thank you. This really isn't what I thought was going to happen with this conversation. One thing that you should know is that the revolution is not far off. It's waiting in the wings. We're not alone in our convictions.
That's a. I mean, not that Avanti says anything, but his eyes do widen a little bit. That's a little. I mean, talk of any revolutionist can be concerning, whether you're for or against it.
Oh, it could earn you execution.
Yeah.
I watched my entire unit slain at the hands of Daruhan and his unit.
My only question is this. They may have done it, but under whose orders?
You can tell Yael isn't quite shocked. And she just says, I know who ordered it. The only person Daruhan would ever listen to.
Mercy.
She slowly nods.
You can tell Avanti isn't surprised. Not at all. Wait, did I?
You seen what he's seen?
Do I know? Oh yeah. Wait, I know she knew about previous incursions, right? She talked about it with me once.
I
No.
believe it. Oh,
I gotta go through my notes. That would have been early.
it would have been early.
Anime guard Zoriel. Cost gives me 5 rations. Found an evil book. I remember the evil book. Remember it was the Unknown Scroll of Ardens. That was a fun translation. Found an old book full of recruits' names. Darhan was top of his class, except in dueling. Oh yeah, I'll tell you this. While it occurs to me, Yael, would you like to know a fun fact about Darhan?
Yael just kind of leans forward with wide eyes.
In his graduating class, he was the top, except in dueling. And that he was beaten by one recruit. I think his name was Karanoff Zal. I forgot about that, Boulder. I forgot about that little tidbit.
Wait, Karunoth Zal?
Or Karazal. Sorry, Karazal.
Zal.
Whatever the name is, because this is back when I still didn't know how to the spell of the name.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's your friend. It's that guy, the guy Bryce takes the appearance of. Piece of paper, Fallen City of Voidcrest. Nope, yeah, it was session 13 because I remember writing the counselor is a fool. She just deleted. Because that was the session I found out she had known about previous incursions because she talked to me about burning the bodies when I said I wanted to dissect or study it or bring it. I forgot what the exact phrase.
That's right, because you burned the bodies on the first time through Umbara.
Which is why I hid away the sigils and all the little trinkets I could get.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I can say
Because it was
okay.
like, shouldn't we collect these? And she's like, oh, we have. Yeah, because you're like, shouldn't we collect these? Shouldn't we research them? She's like, oh, we have plenty in our vaults. And that's when it was like, oh.
I'm like, oh, there were previous descents and she's hidden. Did you know Mercy has hidden evidence of previous descents made by the Mandar? Before the one we found that has coalesced into this.
Yael
There was
slowly nods. I suspect.
So my question is this. Why was she so against your platoon making a journey past the Ashen Gates, but now is okay with it? I've had no one to talk to about this, really. Not all who I could trust Mercy. But why was she so against evidence of the Mandar, of any expedition to the surface, or reason for so, until now?
I wish I knew. Honestly, I suspected in the weeks before our first journey to the Ashen Gate, there was an incident. A few of our unit members were killed. Karthal said it was a beast, but it didn't make sense, and he started to act strange. I don't know if he knew something he wasn't supposed to. If he helped to find some evidence. Wait. DM.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. Did she know what was going on? Hold on. I'm going to DM you.
You know, while I'm thinking about it, because my range is like 20. No, I'd be too far isolated from anybody.
I just messaged you.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Because there was a private session, and I can't remember if she was told that piece of information or not.
I don't believe so. It was alluded that he was hiding something and that he would slink off by himself in moments. And he would continue, and like I said that he would continue to check his pocket.
Okay.
But that was it.
Okay. So Yael says Carousel was acting strange between the time of those deaths and our arrival at the Ashen Gate. It would make sense that something of great importance was found, that something of the Mandar was found. But I don't know what would have changed, unless it's something that she found out about the Mandar, something that they had that she wants, or something that lies beyond the Ashen Gate that she wants.
May I ask you something?
Go ahead.
What do you seek out of this expedition? There are some in this group who are here merely because they were ordered to by their counselors. I believe all of us are here because we were ordered to by our counselors, but others it goes further. Some want the curiosity and experience, be foolhardy as they are, to see what lies past the Ashen Gates and go ascend what our ancestors descended. Some want to study. Do you only want this to lead to your revenge and revolution? What do you seek to gain from this expedition?
Yael considers Avanti for a moment and then says, "This stays between us."
Of course. Unless someone breaks into my mind, of course.
Yael kind of looks taken aback by that.
Avanti forgives, but he doesn't forget.
She kind of she gets this guilty smile on her face. And then she says, "Since you've told me about your family, I'll tell you about mine. I never knew my parents. They sold me or traded me or whatever. And I grew up in an orphanage. My best friend, Alisaria, is the only reason that I survived. Quite literally, in a few cases. And then as we got older, we both realized that we were more than best friends. But as you well know, I'm assuming. Same-sex couples can't make babies, and that's all they cared about in the hive in Gloomhaven. But the one thing that we always talked about was making it to the surface. Part of my reasoning for going on this expedition is closure. To see the Ashen Gate again. To try to find answers about Karl Zal and why my unit was killed. Revolution is important to me. The safety of my fellow Havenborn is important to me, but I think at the end of it, I want to feel the sun on my skin. I want those who have always lived in darkness to have the chance to feel the sun on their skin.
Yael, I will tell you my dream. A dream I've only told Koth and Verati. I should probably tell Hyliak, but I think he knows. But I think he knows. He knows me well. He knows me well enough to know my ambitions. I have a dream that one day the congruency, or Drow Empire as it is, will thrive on the surface rather than rotting, decay, and entropy and mutation in the dark. Where fields of food can grow, where starvation is but a distant memory, or at least not as well known as it is by all now. Where we sit underneath the moon and stars, gazing at the sky of our ancestors as we sit in what once was the Lore capital. I see our children, and our children's children, and their children's children, thriving in fields and mountains, not knowing the cave-ins and horrors of the dark. I see us rediscovering what was lost, reclaiming what is ours, and not fearing for our lives merely stepping out of a city where trade is prosperous, where people live with luxuries, even if it is just the most basic, where the poor and suffering are the minority rather than the majority. And those that do suffer know not the horrors that we have. Perhaps we keep a few cities down here for minerals and materials not found up there at the very least. But I see empty cities left below, not needed, for it is worse down there than what we build up there. You want revolution. This is the revolution I want. A thriving society on the surface. This may take, I am not under any illusion, this will take centuries. A millennia even. But I am young, and I can see the results, if nothing else. So my question to you is this, Yael. For this stream, could I count on you as an ally and friend? Can I trust in you and you trust in me?
Yael's gonna hold out her hand, intending to grasp Avanti by the forearm.
I go for like a normal hand. Do you grasp my forearm?
You have an ally in me. And this may be the best cliffhanger.
Yep. That's where we'll end tonight's session.
Actually, I had one more thing.
Oh, all right. You know.
The cliffhanger is Yael looks at Avanti and says, "But the revolution never ended."
Ooh. And then I seal a blood pact with my Nethril.
Inheritor, enact evil.
I don't think even I told Antonin that. Antonin knows I want the Nethrali house to thrive again. I don't think he knows my ambitions about the surface.
Yeah. All right. Now, that's where we'll end tonight's session.
Yeah.